we're going to start with a welcome from our 4th District Supervisor, V. Manny Perez, for 4th District Town Hall Small Business Resources. Supervisor Perez.
Thank you, Joaquin. And let me just say thank you to everyone and to the small business community that's on this town hall webinar. And I'm Supervisor Victor Manny Perez, elected a few years back, and have the fortune of representing the 4th District, which is basically the Coachella Valley and as well the Palo Verde Valley area. Over 5,000 square miles of land that I have to cover, and approximately about 460,000 constituents. And the purpose behind this webinar is to focus on small business relief and economic recovery efforts within the county of Riverside. We know that the coronavirus pandemic really hit us hard, and it hit not only our nation, it hit California, and it hit our county of Riverside, and it hit our regions dramatically. And over 3,000 individuals, unfortunately, have lost their lives to COVID-19 in our county. Families have been ruined by those deaths, and our hospitals and frontline workers are stretched thin to this day. People with underlying health conditions, folks in underserved communities, folks of color, the elderly, have all struggled and have been disproportionately affected by COVID-19. We have also heard the concerns of the economy, and that's been an ongoing challenge. And small businesses and know that they've been struggling over the course of nearly a year. So people have been losing their jobs, and businesses have been closing, unfortunately, their shops, and some of them have been closing now forever. And as a result of that, families are struggling. The virus has tested people like never before, and we thank everyone for doing their part, even though it's been agonizing and tough. And believe me, it's been tough. Finally, we do have an end in sight, and that is the vaccine, the 2 vaccines that have been developed and are being distributed today. The vaccine offers a new beginning out of the year we just had, and we know we have administered out over 280,000 vaccine doses to the residents of Riverside County. And we just opened our 2nd mass vaccination center in the Coachella Valley at the Palm Springs Convention Center, which I'm very proud of. Now we have 2 there in that specific region in the 4th District that are ongoing. But I want you to know that we're doing everything we can to help support you by fighting this pandemic and saving lives while also supporting our economy so individuals can get back to work cautiously. This supports the quality of life as we emerge and recover from this crisis. And being supportive of businesses goes hand in hand with following public health requirements. Through the federal COVID dollars Riverside County received, we were able to create the Riverside County Small Business Assistance Grant Program, which provided grants of $10,000 to small businesses in Riverside County, whether the business was located in one of our 28 cities or in one of our communities that are unincorporated. This county program concluded in December, and it was $50 million that supported 5,000 small businesses countywide. $10 million of that came to the 4th District, which is Eastern Riverside County, as I mentioned earlier, and we were able to assist over 1,029 businesses, specifically in the Coachella Valley, as well as in the Palo Verde Valley area. We estimate that this business assistant grant program in the 4th District supported over 3,100 employees and jobs overall. With the newly signed stimulus and a larger relief bill being negotiated in Congress, we anticipate we'll continue supporting grant programs for small businesses, and that's going to be a priority for all of us. Today's webinar will provide an overview of small business resources some of the resources the county has through the Riverside County Business and Community Services Department, our Economic Development Department, and which include a one-stop website, which is rivcobizhelp.org, rivcobizhelp.org, with up-to-date information, as well as the Riverside County Business Ambassador Program. We will hear about grants available through cities and the private sector. Many cities have established programs as well to support their local businesses. We will also highlight current federal programs such as EIDL and PPP, and a grant program that is coming for shuttered venues, and state of California grants, which I believe Governor Newsom is seeking to allocate more funding into the state budget. I remember holding a similar small business resource town hall last year, and it featured a lot of excellent information for our local businesses and also answered many questions that people had. My hope is that this webinar is also useful in assisting you as you continue to keep your business open. We have our economic development team and consultants at our Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center that offer one-on-one consulting for your businesses. And Riverside County is committed to helping all our businesses any way we can. And I want to thank Hugo as well. I want to thank the Economic Development Task Force that has been meeting on an ongoing basis during this pandemic to help guide us as policymakers for the Riverside County Board of Supervisors and them as small businesses to consult and guide us and coordinate with us so that we can do our best to ensure that we pass policies and, quite frankly, bring resources to you, to our communities, and to our small businesses. And with that, we're not over the hump yet, folks. I know, but we are advocating so that we can receive more resources at the federal and the state level. But I think with the vaccines that are coming forward, my hope is that within this next year, we'll be in a better place. Let's make 2021 much better, obviously, than 2020. And it's so interesting to me because, and I'll end with this, right now I probably would be at the fairgrounds at the National Date Festival, which is our 75th year. But obviously because of COVID, we're not able to gather. And so unfortunately, we were not able to have the National Date Festival in person. But if you take the time to take a look at the website for the National Date Festival, you'll see a virtual welcoming and as well some clips. We wanted to make sure we honored the National Date Festival. So some clips of years past in which we had exciting times there at the fair. And obviously our goal is to have that open next year as well. And so with that, thank you so much for listening in. I'll be listening in for a bit. And I'd like to turn this back over to Joaquin Tejerina.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Perez. We appreciate your support with the Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center and also the Riverside County Business and Community Services. A little bit about our sponsors, where we receive our funding for the Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center. We're funded by federal dollars through the Small Business Administration. We also receive state funding through the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, GoBiz. And we receive also generous funding from our County Board of Supervisors. We're hosted by the Riverside County Business and Community Services. Next slide. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today, but first off, your presenters today. I am Joaquin Tejerina. I'm a regional manager for economic development, working principally in the 4th and 5th districts, and also the director of the Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center. We have a team of 6 consultants, and with us today is Hugo Loyola, who will be presenting information about the EIDL and PPP programs and how you can access those programs. Next slide. So let's get a little bit, I wanted to talk a little bit what Supervisor Perez mentioned about the Riverside County Business Assistant resources that we have. The website is there at the top, but I will be posting all of the links in the chat box for you. So you can save those and access those at a later time. So you don't have to write all this down. Here is a repository for information, the latest information. As you can see there at the top, it's at the Business and Assistant Resources. We have COVID-19 breaking news. All of the information that is happening real time is being updated here on a continuous basis. So if you're needing some assistance, you have some questions, here is a great county website for that assistance. We urge you to go there and look up what tier we're in, what is allowed, what the health department is. We have links to all of these on this website. Next slide. One of the programs under that website is the Business Ambassador Program. This is a county program that was instituted last year to assist businesses in navigating the ever-changing COVID-19 situation. There was a lot of questions from the business community. What can I do? What is allowed? And what kind of help can I get from the County of Riverside? So this is the site. You can go there and sign up for a free, no-cost consultation. Currently, we're doing them virtually by email, phone, or Zoom. What this provides is information on best practices, what others are doing, what you're allowed to do, and how the county can help you navigate some of the agencies through the county to make sure that you are operating safely for your employees, your clients, and yourself. So I urge you, you can go on there and set up an appointment to talk to someone who can help you with that. We also provide a toolkit that comes with a few decals, a mask, and those kinds of things to help you stay safely open. Next slide. This is who we are. We're the Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center, providing resources and assistance here locally. Our coverage area is from Cali Mesa all the way to the border city of Blythe. We cover a large area, and as I mentioned before, we have 6 consultants that can do one-on-one consulting and training. We have a number of training opportunities through webinars that we provide at no cost. We're part of a larger organization nationwide with over 1,000 locations that are dedicated to helping you either start or grow your business. What we do business consulting, training, and provide other resources. And again, at no cost and no catch to you. We urge you, we will be giving information on how to contact us. In the corner, you see our Coachella Valley SBDC.org. That's our website. Also, our phone number is there. You can reach us by phone, by signing up on our website. And later, we're going to give you a contact to directly make an appointment to see Hugo. If you like what he says today, you'll be able to get in touch with him and schedule a 1-hour, no-cost consultation at your convenience, not at his. He's available pretty much the whole day. So we urge you to, again, make sure you take that information and reach out to us. Next slide. So what do we do? We help with local assistance at this time. Generally speaking, we're focused on loans and grant programs to assist our business community. So we are very in tune to what's happening at the federal, at the state, and the local level about the business assistance program. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that more in the presentation, but that generally is what we do. We assist businesses apply for the PPP or the EIDL. There's a lot of nuances to both of those programs. There's questions that you may have, and those questions aren't readily available to you, but that's where we come in. We can answer those questions and help you with the best response to those questions. So we also help businesses expand or start their e-commerce or marketing and sales, planning, and other aspects of their business. So that's what we do, and that's what we love to do. And we're looking forward to possibly assisting all of you today through this program. Next slide. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing out there. And this is just a small cross section. And really what I'd like you to do is to take away from this, what we're going to be talking about is to be vigilant, be connected to all these things that are happening out there. This just happens to be one program. This is an ongoing program that just started, that kicked off by the city of Palm Springs. This is what's called a loan to grant program, up to $10,000. They have $1 million set aside for small business loans, but will turn into a grant program if you satisfy the requirements. And that basically is you have to stay open for 6 months after the grant. So the information is right there. Now, again, this is for City of Palm Springs businesses. So if you're in the city of Palm Springs, here is an opportunity for you to get grant. Again, grant, it's a loan to grant program. You fill the qualifications, you can apply, and if you meet the criteria, it will be forgiven. Let's go on to another one. Next slide, please. Here's a city of Cathedral City. They have a business support program going on right now. They had approximately $450,000 available for, again, Cathedral City businesses. There's some of the information. There's the website. And again, we'll put the websites in the chat later so that you can, if you live and have a business in the city, you can access this program. Just another example of the local programs that are out here that are available to you. Now, some of the other cities have had some programs. The city of Palm Desert, city of La Quinta, those are closed. We don't know how long this economic downturn will go. We don't know if those cities or others will offer new programs in the future. The best thing to do is to stay connected and vigilant. The city of Indio will be bringing in a program in the coming, possibly in the coming months. So stay tuned. If you live in the city of Indio, you'll be able to access, again, grant funding for your small business in these places. Yeah, let's go on to the next slide. Here's an example of private industry grant opportunities. LISC is one of those, Local Initiative Support Corporation, right? They have a couple of programs that they have been funding. They have partnered with Lowe's in the past, or with Verizon. They just had a round close. I think they're in their third round of funding. We have had some of our clients actually receive grants through LISC. These are ongoing. You have to stay, again, connected. You can go on to LISC, this website, and register to get email alerts when the new grant funding is coming out. There's also another grant funding opportunity for rural locations. Now, what we have heard from LISC is that rural designation doesn't mean you live outside the city necessarily. There might be census tracts within a city that are considered, to that extent, rural. So the best advice we can give you is, if you think you meet the criteria, apply for the grant funding. The worst they can do is say, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. But again, here's an opportunity through this program to access private funding. Let's go on to the next one. Barstool Fund. You may have heard about this, on the web. This is legitimate. They are assisting businesses. Here was, I took this grab last week. At that time, they had supported 253 businesses. This is actually, they solicit funds so people can contribute to the fund, but you can also apply. They're in the at that website, you can follow the link and apply online. Simple application. They'll contact you, and they post who they funded, so you can see that it's a legitimate endeavor. This is not a scam. So again, another example of, excuse me, I got to move around in my office. Another example of a great fund that you can access. Let's go on to the next one. We're talking about the California Grant Relief Fund. The supervisor mentioned that. He also mentioned that there might be some additional funding coming. Well, you know that this second round closed on the February 8th, and they are now awarding that second round applications. If you were in the first round, you might have been put into the second round, and they're going through the process of award now. We don't know how the new grant program might look. What we do know is that the governor has allocated additional funding for this. So we may see a third and fourth round coming from this same type of program. We don't know if it'll be done through Lendistry or the same situation, but we do know that they are discussing funding additional grants through a similar program. So best bet, stay connected and stay in tune. Next slide. This one is, you may have heard about, Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. The application as of this morning is still not open. Well, good news is, though, that this is a grant that many folks can apply for. It's operators and promoters. We have a lot of information about this program and who can apply, how they are. They have to show their information, what they have to submit, and all that. And some of the information is there. Basically, what we know about this program is you had to be in operation by February 29th of 2020, and you have to show a loss, obviously. And so this program might be something of for a number of venues here locally. Now, I will say this program is the same apple as PPP as of December 27th, 2020. So you only take one bite of the apple. So it's either going to be PPP or Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. You can apply for them, but you're not eligible for both as of December. So if you received a PPP grant previously to December, you can actually apply for this grant, or you can do the second draw on PPP. It's, as I mentioned, this is the same apple as PPP after December 27th. But here's what we're going to let you know about this. Let us help you determine what is the best option for you so that you get a bigger bite of that apple. So we can help you determine whether this program or PPP would be better for you, depending on your revenues and your losses, okay? And so we'll be happy to go over this for you. And again, since December, you only get one bite of the apple, either PPP or Shuttered Venue Operators. Timing is everything. As you know, PPP ends soon, next month. So we don't know when this one will open, so you might want to take the sure thing and take the PPP. But again, contact us, let us know, let us help you get this, make that business decision that's in your best interest, okay? Next slide. So I've spoken a lot about the small business resources, some of the things that we're doing, some of the things that you can look for. And so I want to leave you with this, and really, here is the Calendly link for Hugo. And again, I'm going to put that in the chat box, or Hugo, I'm going to ask Hugo to put that in the chat box later. Make sure you can contact him. and we can assist you through the process of application for any loan or any grant program that you might want to apply. We'll help you prepare your documents, including your financial information, to put the best picture forward so that you get the assistance that you are entitled to. So a little bit about that again is, contact us. There's our webpage. There's our number. What we'll be doing now, well, we're hearing from Hugo, is answering some of those questions in the chat and the Q&A. Now, some of those questions I may pose to Hugo, or we might just answer there individually. Okay, so I'm going to start putting some of that information in the chat, and then we'll look at those questions. Okay, so now I'm going to turn over the rest of the presentation to Hugo Loyola.
Thank you, Joaquin. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hugo Loyola. I am a local business consultant. I reside in the city of Palm Springs full-time, and I've joined the SBDC as a bilingual business consultant just this past year. So I'll be happy to assist you both in English and in Español. And if you need the assistance en Español, lo podemos hacer también. Ese es mi idioma nativo. And obviously, I would be happy to assist you with any of the grant programs, answering questions, helping you with the applications, looking at your financials. And it's really important to mention that all of our consultations that are done one-on-one at no cost and no catch are done entirely in confidentiality. The SBA requires us to provide all of our clients with a confidentiality form, and so that we can discuss very sensitive information with you, whether it's your taxes, your revenues, and obviously look at how you will be able to access some of these funds. So rest assured, we're here to help you with all of the information about the grants and help you with those applications. But I'd like to start my part of the presentation talking to you about the loan programs that are available. These are federally, this is money that comes from Congress that's been appropriated in the stimulus package. Both the EIDL loan and the PPP now in the second draw are still available, and you can apply to both. What's really important to mention at this level is that if you apply for both and end up getting funding from both programs, the EIDL and the PPP, the important thing to keep in mind is that those funds from the loan programs, you'll have to use in different eligible expenses, okay? What they don't want to see is double dipping. So PPP entirely and primarily the impetus of the program is to help you stay employed, to help your employees stay employed. EIDL, you can use those funds for other types of business operating expenses as well. And both are available to you as of now. I'll be happy to assist you with the application process. Let me begin telling you about the EIDL. What is EIDL? EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And now the Fed has extended that through the SBA through the end of 2021. So we know there's funding there. With additional appropriation of money from Congress, this program is probably going to remain throughout the entire year, and it's available for you to apply. Now, if you're a small business or a private non-for-profit organization, you have to be able to demonstrate that you have experienced the loss of revenue. And they're going to look at your financial statements, like your profit and loss statements. And they also like to see your taxes to see exactly what was your gross income and what you reported in 2019. You'll be able to use the funds of the EIDL loan for fixed debt. You can also use it for payroll, but PPP obviously is a better instrument for that. Any accounts payable, if you have vendors and you need to pay those vendors, you'll be able to use the funds from the EIDL from that. Any operational costs that were affected by COVID-19. The funds of the EIDL cannot be used to replace loss of sales, profits, or make expansion plans, okay? You'll be able to access up to $2 million. This is a loan that has to be repaid. it carries a 3.75 interest rate, and the loan can be repaid up to 30 years. So if you think about this loan, it's almost like getting a mortgage, right? You'll have up to 30 years to repay this loan at 3.75%. If you're a non-for-profit organization, then your interest rate is 2.75%, okay? The program had a up to $10,000 cash advance, which has now reopened. If you applied last year and you received your EIDL and you didn't get your cash advance, you can go to the SBA and ask for the cash advance up to $10,000. Essentially, though, the $10,000 is for the up to $10,000 is if you have 10 employees or more, right? It's an average of about $1,000 per head count per employee. Obviously, if that loan, the amount of that loan exceeds $25,000, the SBA is going to ask you for collateral, right? So if you own a piece of real estate, that will count as collateral. The SBA will want you to pledge whatever you have available if your loan is greater than $25,000. You'll need a credit score and history of credit report. You'll need a plan on how to use the funds. And you're going to have to submit, as I mentioned, your 2019 or your interim in 2020 profit and loss statements. You'll have to provide them with tax returns for at least 2 years, both corporate and personal. Businesses that are eligible will be obviously those that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. There is a priority to small businesses with less than 300 employees, any agricultural concerns with less than 500 employees, corporations, sole proprietors, independent contractors, gig workers. If you're a self-employed individual, you can apply for the EIDL loan. Non-for-profits under the IRS exception 501c, D, or E. And religious, charitable, or gambling concerns are ineligible. If you're a religious organization, a charitable organization, or a gambling concern, you will not be able to apply. And to apply, you'll have to go to this website, right, which is covid19relief.sba.gov. This is where you begin your application. The application takes about 20 to 30 minutes. I have helped lots and lots and lots of clients with this application. I know there's a lot of questions that you need to really be prepared to answer. They ask you information. You have to sign some disclosures at the beginning saying that you are the person who's applying, right? Proving that you are the individual and not a scam. You'll have to provide information about your business. You'll have to provide information about yourself as the business owner. And you'll have to provide additional information as well. Review your application and submit. The SBA will continue to receive applications until the end of 2021. So if you haven't applied, please get in touch with us. You have my Calendly link. I'll be happy to walk you through the application, review with you your documentation, make sure that everything checks and balances so that you can apply and have a greater chance to receive this loan. Now, let me show you a couple of quick calculations to show you what would be your monthly payment if you receive this particular loan. Let's say that you receive the $25,000 from the EIDL loan. You'll have up to 30 years at 3.75% to repay it. If you get a $25,000, we've done the calculations, you'll have to pay $160 per month, okay? If you get about $50,000, your monthly payment is going to be $232. If your loan is $100,000, your monthly payment is going to be $463, which is essentially what you would pay if you bought a car or lease a car, right? So you can see how this particular loan, while still a loan and you have to repay it, it's good aid that you will be able to repay it up to 30 years. There is no penalty for repaying the loan earlier, right? If you have the ability to repay it before the 30 years, there's absolutely no fees and nothing that prevents you from doing that. Okay. Again, how can you get in touch with me? There's my Calendly, calendly.com/Hugo-Loyola-SBDC. You'll see what I have available in my calendar. Book an appointment. I'll be happy to assist you with the EIDL. Now, Moving on to Paycheck Protection Program 2.0, as everyone is referring to. Essentially, this is the second draw of the program. If you received a PPP last year, you will be considered a second draw applicant. If you applied last year and you didn't get PPP and you want to reapply for PPP this year, you would be considered a first draw applicant because you haven't gotten this money. Okay. You can use the funds for this program to obviously keep your workforce employed. That's why it's called Paycheck Protection. The impetus of the program is to help you stay employed, to help your employees stay employed. We want to see people getting back on their feet and obviously continue to contribute to the economy. You can also use the assigned portions of this loan to pay the interest on your mortgage payments, right? Principal or prepayments are excluded. You can do payroll, you can pay rent, and you can pay utilities, okay? It's really important to mention that you have to make sure that you use the correct calculations so that you can apply for forgiveness at the end of your desired period of reporting. The application for the PPP 2.0 started on January 11th, 2021, and it will close on March 31st of this year. So you have a little bit over a month still to apply if you haven't done so. This loan carries a 1% interest rate. And if the loan was issued prior to June 5th, you'll have 2 years to repay it. But if the loan is issued after June the 5th of last year, you'll have up to 5 years to repay it. Those are some of the new rules of this program. And who is eligible? Well, obviously, to apply, you can apply through any existing SBA 7A lender, any federally insured depository institution, any federally insured credit union, and any farm credit system institution. If you don't have a lender in mind, get in touch with us. We can recommend lenders that are accepting applications and processing applications, okay? The lenders will not charge you any fees if they're participating and they're sanctioned by the SBA as an SBA lender. They will not charge you any fees, okay? You won't need a personal guarantee or collateral for the PPP. There are no requirements for that. The loans are deferred for 10 months after 8 or 24 weeks. That's a reporting period you'll have to choose. And these funds are forgivable if you use them for the eligible expenses. What they don't want is for you to take the money and run to the casino. You have to use the funds on those eligible expenses. And remember, if you got PPP last year, you can apply now for a second draw. Well, how much can you borrow, right? This is a loan. How much can you borrow? Well, the PPP will allow you to borrow up to 2.5 or 2.5 times the average monthly payroll cost, not to exceed 10 million, that you incur during the year prior to the loan date. And these are capped at $100,000 per employee, okay? So to get your payroll statements, figure it out how much you average, what was your average a month, you'll be able to borrow up to 2.5 times that amount. But if your business is in the NAICS industry sector 72, which is essentially hotels and restaurants, right? Accommodation and food services. If your business is in the industry NAICS sector determination 72, you would be able to borrow up to 3.5 times your average monthly payroll. You need to know your payroll. You are going to be able to use the money to pay salary, wage, commission, or similar compensation to your employees. You can make the payment of cash, tip, or equivalent. You can pay for vacation, parental, family, medical, or sick leave. You can use this allowance for dismissal or separation. You can do for payment required for the provisions of group health care benefits, including insurance premiums, the payment of any retirement benefit, and the payment of state or local tax assessed on the compensation of the employee. Those are the eligible payment categories from the PPP. And let me just give you a couple of examples on your calculations to repay the loan. Let's say that if your payroll annually was about $120,000, well, you take that amount, you divide it by 12, and then you apply the 2.5 factor. So it would give you an average of about $25,000 for that loan if your payroll was about $120,000. Remember, if you're in the NAIC 72 hotels or restaurants, you'll be able to borrow up to 3.5 times that amount. If your payroll was greater or annually was about 1.2 million, right? We did the calculations, and your loan maximum is about $250,000, $250,000, right? So that's just a couple of examples on that. I talked about forgiveness. This is a forgivable loan. Obviously, you'll have to be able to demonstrate that you have used the money from this loan in the eligible categories. And you have to demonstrate that you did not have a reduction of employees or full-time equivalencies greater than 25% in wages paid to your employees, right? If you get your PPP loan and you can get some of those employees back or restore their wages, that would be really, really great because you will be demonstrating that you're using the loan to help your employees stay employed or to get their wages restored. You can obviously use that to payroll, rent, and utilities, and the interest on the mortgage obligation incurred in the ordinary course of business. All right. The loan forgiveness cannot exceed the principal. You'll have to apply for forgiveness to your lender at the end of 8 or at the end of 24 weeks from the date you get funded. And remember that you'll have to do it through an SBA approved lenders, any SBA 7A lender, any participating federally insured depository institution, or the federal credit unions are accepting applications. And this will close, PPP will close at the end of March of this year. So get in touch with me, book an appointment with me. I'll be happy to assist you to apply for the PPP. Now, here we are. This is what we offered at the SBDC, provide you accurate information, answer your questions, and provide you with step-by-step guidance. Joaquin, this is probably a good time to answer some of the questions that are coming in the chat. All right, so for example, Virginia is asking us, she received the EIDL, but she not received the advanced grant portion. I did check with the application to receive the advanced portion. I spent months sending emails since the day I applied in the first round, and to date, I haven't received any answer regarding this issue. Are they still issuing the advance to those businesses who never received it? Are the funds there? What we know is that the funds are there. It's done through the SBA. The SBA has the department of the EIDL, and they are the ones who can assist you with the cash, the advance grant portion of it. I'll be happy to connect with you, Virginia, and we can look at this together. All right, here's another one, Donna Wolf. If I apply for a PPP as an independent contractor, can I still apply for the EDD? Is that double dipping? Donna, that's an excellent question. Yes, it is double dipping because you will be using federal tax dollars for the purpose of staying employed. EDD as an unemployment benefit helps you if you are currently unemployed. Technically speaking, if you get the Paycheck Protection Program, you are no longer considered unemployed, right? You would be getting that federal funding. And because of that, you have to get to the EDD and take yourself off unemployment benefits because that is considered double dipping. All right, Donna? Virginia asked another question. Can we use the EIDL for operating expenses aside from payroll? Yes. There's a list of very specific operating expenses that you can use the EIDL. And we can, Virginia, if we get in touch, we can definitely go over it and I'll be happy to assist you with that. All right, let's take a look at some other questions here. Is there a second round for idle? We have already received one round. Nima, no, there is no second round for the idle. If you've already received the idle funds, you will not be able to apply a second time for idle. Idle is only available for those first-time borrowers who apply to the program. So if you've received an idle loan, you will not be able to apply for it again, only for PPP. All right, let's see other questions here. All right, here's another one. Yo soy María y me gustaría tener una cita por ayuda en este sentido. María Zavala, con mucho gusto, por favor, entre en contacto conmigo. Ya tiene mi link de Calendly para que yo le pueda asistir, ¿ok? María Zavala. Virginia, pay for vacation. Yes, the PPP, if you use PPP funds for to pay your employees for vacation benefits, that is obviously a category that is eligible. All right, Kiet Van, I own a restaurant in Cathedral City. I am 11 months behind on rent. How do I negotiate a fair settlement so both the landlord and I can be happy? Kiet, would you please try to make an appointment with me? I'll love to talk to you about certain things that you can do to talk to your landlord. There is obviously a process you have to follow to try to negotiate a settlement with them. But this is something entirely not within the idle or the PPP, okay? So that's a separate issue. It has to do with rental. And I'll be happy to talk to you about that and see if we can come up with some kind of a plan so that you can talk to your landlord. All right, Stanley Cheng, I am only able to retain half of my previous employees. Stanley, please make sure that if you're only able to retain half of your previous employees, you had to let the other employees go because of COVID-19, that you document everything. If you receive PPP, you have to contact your employees that are no longer working for you. You have to offer them the opportunity to come back to work for you. You'll have to do it in writing, okay? Either by email or send them a letter telling them that you received the funds and asking them to come back to work with you. That's a very, very important thing you have to do. They can tell you no, but you have to document that you are attempting to get them to come back to work for you. Stanley, your PPP is forgivable if you use the money in the eligible categories and you do very good reporting. At the end of the 8 or the 24 week, you can go back to your lender and request forgiveness. Okay, here is an anonymous attendee. I am a cottage food operator. Can I use my home mortgage and utilities as business expense for eligibility? Well, it depends on the program, Mr. Anonymous attendee. You can please get in touch with us. Let's take a look at your particular situation and let's go over the eligible expenses depending on what program you would be getting funds from, either PPP or EIDL. Okay. We talked about that. Here's another one. Do you know if a second draw PPP loans have not been allocated yet? I submitted mine a month ago and have heard nothing. Amy, it's going to be very important to follow up with the lender that you chose to do your second draw application for PPP. Every lender is different and have different ways of communicating with applicants. If it's a large bank, we know it's pretty difficult, very challenging to get a hold of them, but they certainly have the ability to get back to you on that question, okay? So if you submitted your application a month ago and you have heard nothing, we've got to be able to follow up with that lender. What I'm going to say is try not to start another application with another lender, because that will create a duplication of your applications, and that can cause you problems later down the road, including canceling both applications. Okay, here's another question. We are an LLC that do not have any employees. my wife and I are self-employed under the businesses. What are we eligible for? So Firas Al Ibrahim, you are eligible for both PPP and the EIDL as self-employed employed people, whether you want to apply as an LLC or simply as self-employed using your 1040 income tax return that I presume you filed jointly with your wife. That would be the way to apply for either one of those programs. Please get in touch with us, make an appointment. I'll be happy to walk you through that process. Ying Chang, I have received the EIDL loan. Can I request to reconsider increase in the loan amount? Yang, we have helped clients with this reconsideration process. I have to be honest with you. There's been very, very, very few cases where the reconsideration increase has been provided to applicants. The maximum that a lot of people got last year was about $150,000. If that is your case, just consider it that was the max. But we can certainly look at the steps to help you contact reconsideration at the SBA and see if we can help you get an increase on your EIDL loan. Okay. Jonathan Lance, what happened to forgiving $150,000 PPP and below? Jonathan, I think you got that figure wrong. If you received $50,000 or fewer than $50,000 on the PPP, you'll have to contact your lender. There is a simplified form to apply for forgiveness. And we know that the lenders are still working with the SBA on the forgiveness. So it's a matter of really contacting your lender and following their guidance, applying for forgiveness. But please get in touch with me. We can talk about this and look at your particular situation. All right. I am a concessions stand food vendor for the fairs or city events. Due to the shutdown, there are no more fairs, city events due to gatherings. Will I still qualify for the PPE? I think you're meaning PPP, Evelyn, if I get this correct. Yes, if you haven't applied for PPP, get in touch with us. I will be happy to see your particular situation and help you understand the process and provide you a list of lenders that are accepting applications at the moment. Okay. Let's see another question here. I received my first draw PPP. How do I know what my time frame is? Most of the funding was within the first 2 months, but then I was able to get guys back to work. However, one of my guys got COVID-19 a few months later and used the money to pay him and the others for quarantining. I don't think I understand the question here. So Margaret, if you already use up your PPP funds, if that is the question, you should definitely be considering contacting your lender and getting the application for forgiveness with them as soon as possible. You want to make sure that you follow their guidance on that. Dominique Fruchtman, isn't there simplified forgiveness form? Yes, there is a simplified forgiveness form, which is a paper form from the SBA for anyone who received $50,000 or fewer than $50,000 on the PPP. All right. If you need to have access to that form, get in touch with us. We'll be happy to help you find it. It's on the internet, by the way.
Diego, there was a question earlier on Barstool, whether just bars and restaurants. If you go to their site, you'll see that they have awarded tattoo parlors, other retailers, some other things on there. So apparently it is open to all small businesses.
Yes. Excellent, Joaquin. Virginia, is there a chance that the EIDL might eventually be converted into a grant? No, Virginia, unfortunately, the EIDL will not be converted into a grant. It is a loan, again, repayable up to 30 years at the 3.75% interest rate. Joaquin, any other questions that I haven't covered yet?
we've got a question from, as a small chamber, how can we qualify for financial assistance? I'm thinking nonprofit.
Yes, so if that is if you're a non-for-profit and you meet the requirements of a non-for-profit, you should be able to apply to these programs. Please get in touch with us. Let's take a look at how you are incorporated, or what kind of legal structure do you have, and let's find out how we can help you apply for some of these programs.
Okay. Yeah. There's a question from Mary Pham, programs that can help evict a tenant who's not paying rent. I'm sorry, that's not something we can help you with. That's legal issues. Check with your attorney.
Yep.
I think that's all. I put all the contact links in the chat. So if you go there, you can download all of those web links that we discussed earlier. Hugo, you put your calendar.
Yeah, I'm going to put it. Yeah, I'm going to put it again so that people can grab it now. Recuerden que también les puedo ayudar en español si quieren que tengamos nuestra consulta en español.
Okay. I also see a question regarding grants for unincorporated areas such as Bermuda Dunes. All of the grants that we talked about here from the federal or state level, or even the county level, apply to any area in the county or the state or the federal, federal government applications. You can apply those. The city grants obviously are just for the city businesses. So stay in tune. I think it's Wees Hyman in tune to us, and if and when something comes up at the county level, you can apply for that. And you heard the supervisor mention that there might be some additional grant funding coming from the county if and when the federal government releases additional funds.
I also want to mention to everyone that if you visit our website, CoachellaValleySBDC.org, that's CoachellaValleySBDC.org, you can sign up to receive our weekly newsletter. And the SBDC puts out this weekly newsletter with news about the grants, the other loan programs, any financial assistance programs that we are learning about that are becoming available. You can find out what's available. And if you see something that interests you, if you need more information, by all means, get in touch with us. Let's take a look at what's available to you. CoachellaValleySBDC.org. Sign up to get our weekly email newsletter. Okay. I think that pretty much covers everything. Joaquin, I don't know if you have anything else.
Okay. We discussed all of the things I think that have been were asked. I'm looking back through there. I think we have answered all the questions.
Yeah. And if we didn't get to your question, again, please get in touch with us. Let us find out what's in your mind. How can we help you? What's available to assist you at this particular time? And just, stay in touch with us. That's the important message.
Well, great. Thank you. As Hugo mentioned, listen, contact us. There's a number of ways you can do that: by phone, going to our webpage. You can set up an appointment that way, reach out, or you have Hugo's calendar. You can contact him and schedule a one-on-one, 1 hour consultation free of charge. Again, these services that we provide have been paid for by the federal and the state and the county government. So take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Also did see a question about our service. Our service territory, generally speaking, is from Kelly Mesa to Blythe. That does not mean we cannot help you if you live outside those areas. there might be something closer to you. We had a question in Temecula, South Temecula. You can apply, you can work with us or go to the Inland Empire SBDC and they can help you. They have a local office. When we open back up in Murrieta, they work through Zoom, and you can make an appointment with them also. And they have a significantly larger staff to help you if you choose that. But we will help you ourselves if you come and choose to work with us. So I think that was the last of it. Stay tuned. We have many trainings. We have your information. If you would like to be part of our training programs and hear more opportunities for education of your small business, you need help stabilizing your business, or you think of a new idea and you want to launch a new business, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We appreciate you all being here. We thank you, and we hope that, as Supervisor Perez says, 2021 is a better year than 2022. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you all. Gracias.